We are in the brand new 2025 Volvo V60 Cross Country, courtesy of Younger Volvo in Hagerstown, Maryland. For more information on their inventory, please feel free to check out the link in the description box below. And so we're in this one today because it is raining out, and I figured it'd be a great time to take a drive in a car. But anyways, you got an elegant design, you have SUV-like practicality in wagon form, and what's even cooler, this one is built and assembled in Sweden, which is very rare here, at least in the US. But ultimately in this video, we will be testing out and going over everything about this one, from acceleration to braking, steering feel, ride quality, sound system, exhaust clip, all that fun stuff. So having said all of that, what do you guys say? Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. And as always, let's start with pricing. And so essentially there are two different configurations for the 2025 V60 Cross Country. You got the Plus starting at $51,495. Then you have the Ultra, which is the one we are in today, starting at $56,545. But regardless of the configuration that you go with, the power plant is going to be the same. Powering the beast is a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder with a mild hybrid system, putting out 247 horsepower, 5,400 RPM, 258 pound-feet of torque, coming in at 1,800 RPM. That power being sent to all 4 wheels through an 8-speed automatic, 0 to 60 time, coming in at approximately 6.6 seconds. Top speed, if you're interested, 115 miles per hour, with MPG numbers coming in at 24 in the city, 31 on the highway, taking premium unleaded fuel. And so before we do any kind of fun acceleration test here in the V60, I did want to mention to you guys the drive modes. There's a little gear type icon in the lower right hand corner of the infotainment screen that essentially is going to give you driving modes up at the very top there. You have an off-road mode, and then if you scroll down all the way to the bottom, there is a steering feel firm mode as well. I'm going to go ahead and turn that on because I always am a big fan of that. But that's essentially the extent of the drive mode. So now having got all of that out of the way, let's go ahead and find a straightaway. Let's put this thing to the test, and let's see how quickly we can get our new 2025 V60 Cross Country here up to speed. All right, found our straightaway in 3, 2, 1, go. Little delay there. I love the sound it makes when it shifts, I will say that, but surprisingly there was a little bit of a delay there, so wouldn't expected that with a mild hybrid system. But either way, it's plenty to merge you onto any highway here in the US. It's plenty of acceleration. I just didn't expect a delay. But anyways, to go along with that acceleration, as always, braking is equally important. So up front you will find 13.6-inch ventilated front discs. In the back, 12.6-inch ventilated rear discs. As far as this 60-0 stopping distance goes, it comes in at a respectable 121 feet. As far as braking feel goes, it's on the firmer side of things. I definitely like the braking feel in this thing, so didn't expect that either. Typically with luxury cars like the V60, and yes, Volvo is luxury for sure, it's a little softer of a braking feel, but that's not the case here. It feels really good as far as the braking feel goes. Kind of like a sports in it, honestly. But then touching on suspension and handling, up front you're going to get an independent double wishbone type front suspension. In the back, integral link rear suspension. As far as ride quality goes, as we're cruising over the smoothest road in Hagerstown here, it's been perfectly fine. And honestly, even if this wasn't the smoothest road in Hagerstown, I think it still would be perfectly fine. This is an amazing ride quality here in the V60 Cross Country. As far as steering feel goes, I love it, and the reason I love it is because I put it in that steering feel firm driving mode, and I love that Volvo does that. In my other reviews, I also mentioned Volvo specifically, how they have a specific drive mode just for the steering feel. I love that because you don't always need that instant acceleration, but I always love the heavier feel to the steering like we have here in the V60, because it better points you in the direction that you want to go. You have a little more fun on the back roads, that kind of thing. So huge fan of the steering feel here. As far as cabin noise goes, we're going 53 miles per hour right now. This is probably the perfect test, so discard the rain, obviously, because it is raining out right now. But other than that, it's been a pretty serene cabin in my short little test drive here today, so that is also 100% on point. Touching on rear visibility, this is one of the best parts. Because of the shape of the wagon, you're definitely not going to have any issues there. So 100% perfectly fine when I'm looking out my rear view mirror. But also touching on forward visibility, rain sensing windshield wipers will come standard on the V60 Cross Country. So whenever this thing detects any kind of mist or rainfall like it is right now, it's going to automatically turn on the windshield wipers for me. So just one less thing I got to worry about there. And the other thing is, touching on forward visibility yet again, I'm looking at a head-up display right now up on my windshield. It's giving me my speed limit. It's also going to display safety features when it's needed as well at any given time. So that's just for the Ultra though. So if you wanted that head-up display, that is how you're going to go ahead and get it. Little hard to see with polarized sunglasses. I can still see it a little bit, but a lot better without them on. But anyways, that pretty much rounds out the performance segment of this review, you guys. Let's now go ahead and take a look at the exterior of our brand new 2025 Volvo V60 Cross Country. All right, so here she is, you guys, the new 2025 Volvo V60 Cross Country, finished in Silver Dawn, in case you were curious of our exact exterior color name that we had with us here on this one. But as always, let's go ahead and start with where the V60 is made. Taking a look at the VIN, first character is the letter Y, which typically indicates that this one is either built in Sweden or Belgium. So most of the parts come from Sweden for the V60. However, the final assembly point, believe it or not, is in Belgium, which is still pretty cool. So forget what I said at the beginning of the video. This one is made in Belgium, but still, like I said, that is pretty cool to me. But let's start up front. Cross country specific front grille, at least when you compare it to the rest of the Volvo lineup. You got LED headlights with LED Thor's hammer daytime running lights. Of course, you get the automatic feature. You get automatic high beams, so if you have your high beams on at night and it senses the vehicle coming in the opposite direction, it's going to automatically dim them back to low beams. Then when that vehicle is gone, it's going to automatically bounce it back up the high beams for you there. LED fog lights do come standard for both trim levels as well. You guys can see those down to the bottom corners there. Got a matte black front lip, and one of the coolest parts, I'm going to try to get some B-roll if I can, but you got headlight washers found under the headlights, so you can see the little cutout for them, and it just spurts out little headlight washer fluid onto your headlights. So that's something Volvo has done for a while now. I think it's pretty stinking cool because I don't know anybody else that does it. So anyways, that pretty much rounds out the front end. Let's now go ahead and swing around to the side. All right, so now since we are around to the side of this one, silver roof rails do come standard. You got gloss black window surrounds as well. Rear privacy glass coming with that. Body colored power adjustable side mirrors. They will be heated with LED integrated turn signals then as well. Then taking a look down at the wheel setup, it's actually a different wheel configuration dependent upon the trim level that you go with. So you get 18-inch 5-spoke black diamond cut alloys for the Plus, and then 19-inch 5-spoke black diamond cut alloys for the Ultra that we have with us here. So that pretty much rounds out the side profile. Let's now go ahead and swing around to the back. All right, so now since we are around to the back of this one, all the way to the top, you do have a body colored shark fin antenna. Just below that, rear spoiler with an integrated brake light. Just below that, rear window wiper. Got the Volvo lettering spelled out horizontally. That always looks good. You got LED tail lights and the typical C shape that Volvo has come to be known for. Got cross country lettering spelled out on the bottom portion of that rear bumper. I'm gonna try to get up a little closer so maybe you guys can see it, but it goes across the matte black portion of the rear bumper there. So I like that. Nice little added touch there. And then just below it all, you actually do have dual exhaust outlets. They are tucked away. So having said that, I do believe you guys know what we have to do next here. As always, here is that exhaust clip. Alright, so now since we are around to the back of the V60, when it comes to opening up that rear hatch, there is a button on the key fob, and there is actually a rubberized button on the hatch itself as well, but it is power operated, so just simply walk away and then press the button and it's going to automatically close then as well for you. But once opened up, cargo capacity behind that second row comes in at 23 cubic feet even. If that was not enough space, of course the rear seats do fold down for a good bit of extra space then if you needed it. You do have a little bit of netted storage back there. Of course, you got cargo lighting. There are so many grocery bag hooks. You actually have 2 grocery bag hooks on each side, so 4 total. You almost never see that. You also have some chrome plated tie down anchors. There's a 12-volt power outlet back there. There's also a cargo cover. Then if you were to lift up underneath of that cargo floor, you will find a spare tire, which you guys know I always love to see. So then making our way up to the rear legroom, that is going to come in at 35.2 inches. For reference, I'm an even 6 feet tall. This is how much space I had in the rear seats there. Rear center armrest with cup holders does come standard. I loved that. Rear ventilation also coming standard. You got 2 phone charging ports back there, and there are heated rear seats. That comes with a climate package. It goes for $700, so we have those with us here today as well, so that was definitely nice to see. But then making our way up to the front seats, leather seats do come standard. Napa leather, however, will come on the Ultra trim like we have today. You got the flag of Sweden located on the passenger seat. That's something that Volvo has done for a long time now. I've always been a fan of that. Power adjustable front seats do come standard. Heated front seats also standard. If you wanted ventilated front seats, go with the Ultra trim that we have with us here. Power cushion extension also with that Ultra trim, along with power side bolsters then as well. So having said all of that, since we have all these different adjustments, seating was plenty comfortable in my short little test drive here today. Heated seats definitely did their job here. It's 50 degrees out, so it's getting a little warmer, but still kind of cold. But anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at the steering wheel now. It is tilt and telescoping. It is a leather-free steering wheel, so whatever that means, I think it feels pretty darn good though regardless. I like the two-tone steering wheel too. That's some Volvo kind of pioneered back in the day. So big fan of that. And yet again, you can get a heated steering wheel either with the Ultra like we have today, or with that climate package for the Plus trim level. That's also going to give you a heated steering wheel. But now let's go ahead and make our way to the startup. Let me start by showing you guys the key. You got your Volvo logo on the one side. However, all of your buttons are located actually on the side of the key. You got lock, unlock, and the button to pop the rear hatch there. But it is all keyless entry with a turn knob start. So if you're not familiar with Volvo, the way that works is you put your foot on the brake and you turn it to the right. And then when you want to stop it, you also turn it to the right. And you never turn it to the left. You always turn it to the right, and actually you can't turn it to the left, so that'll be an easy way to remember. But anyways, once started up, there's a 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster, which looks pretty darn good in my opinion. You have your speedometer all the way to your left. You have a tachometer all the way to your right. Got how many miles you have left until you hit empty at the very bottom, your outside temperature at the top, and then in the middle you got your Google Maps. That's your navigation information found just dead center of the gauges there. But again, you don't even have to look at the gauges, at least with the configuration that we have, because we got the head-up display projected onto our windshield here, so that's pretty cool. But now let's go ahead and make our way to overall interior quality. A power moonroof does come standard, and it goes all the way into the back, so even the rear passengers have a view there. Frameless rear view mirror with HomeLink controls for up to 3 different garage doors. I love that as well. Got aluminum door sills. You have a hand-stitched gear selector for the Plus trim level. However, if you go with the Ultra, you get an Orfor's crystal gear selector. If you're not familiar with Orfor's, they are a crystal company located in Sweden. So they build these and they are absolutely amazing. They feel so high quality. So that's one of the biggest selling points actually for a lot of Volvos I've seen. A lot of people in the comments section say they love these crystal gear selectors, so I'm with them. I think it looks pretty darn good. But you get a tailored dashboard with the Ultra trim. You get linear lime decor with the Plus, driftwood decor for the Ultra. Then just in front of the shifter, you got a little bit of rubberized storage. To the right of the shifter, you got all of your cup holders. Surrounding the shifter is going to be a gloss black finish, and then within the center armrest, there is a decent amount of space there. You got a couple USB charging ports as well. But overall, everything is finished very much so on the luxury side of things. I love the interior lighting here too. There's not an actual button to turn it on and off. It's just like a touch sensor kind of thing, so I thought that was pretty cool. To open and close the power moonroof, you just swipe your finger back if you want to open it and swipe it forward to close it. That's another thing that Volvo does that I think is pretty cool. And last thing is the aluminum speaker covers, and we'll be testing out that sound system in a little bit, but those are very high end as well. But speaking of, let's go ahead and take a look at the infotainment screen here. You get a 9-inch vertical color touchscreen display, Bluetooth and audio streaming coming with that. You get Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, factory navigation system like I was mentioning. Climate control settings are up there as well. Drive mode adjustments to that gear icon like I was telling you guys. Also though, your radio information. So let's get to it. 10 speakers with 220 watts for the Plus. However, there is a 14 speaker Harman Kardon sound system for the Ultra, and that comes with 600 watts and an air ventilated subwoofer. And then lastly, there's an optional 15 speaker Bowers & Wilkins sound system with 1410 watts. That's nuts. That one goes for $3,200. I tested that out in an S90 a while back, and it was incredible. But anyways, we got the 14 speaker Harman Kardon sound system with us here today. So what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and turn on the radio. Let's see what we got playing today, and let's test out the clarity of this one. That's really, really, really good. That was really good. Now, Bowers & Wilkins is obviously going to be the best. I've said that before, but that's a really good sound system for this. Like, definitely overkill in the best way possible. So Huge fan of that. Well done, Harman Kardon and Volvo there. So last thing I wanted to mention to you guys on that infotainment screen is when you do put the V60 in reverse, you will find an extremely high definition rear view camera coming standard across the board, and there's a button in the center as well that gives you that 360-degree view, which is also pretty darn cool, letting you know who or what is all around you, which is always going to lead us into safety. And so to start, the V60 Cross Country is an IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus, so you cannot beat that. Front side curtain airbags do come standard. You get a driver's knee airbag up front as well. In the back, you're going to have latch, aka lower anchors and tethers for children for the rear car seats, rear child door locks, tire pressure monitoring system, but also coming standard, adaptive cruise control, adaptive power steering, blind spot monitoring system with rear cross traffic alert, lane keep assist, oncoming lane mitigation, pilot assist, and road sign information as well. So overall, when it comes to my final thoughts here of the V60, I love it because it's a wagon. You never see wagons out there. The more cars I review, the more I appreciate the vehicles that are really different from everything else, like the V60 Cross Country, because wagons are just cool at this point because they're rare. Also, I think it's pretty cool that it's built in Belgium with a bunch of parts from Sweden. So I don't know, maybe that's just me. You got great tech on this one, whether it be the digital gauge cluster, the infotainment screen, incredible safety, incredible interior quality as well, whether it be the driftwood trim or the aluminum speakers or the leather or the Napa leather seats. I can go on and on, but I think the only thing that I would possibly add to this one is I think ambient lighting would look pretty darn cool in this. But other than that, that's about it for this one, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to follow me on social media somewhere on this screen if you want to see what's coming next on the channel before it gets to YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe and the bell notification button if you're into new car reviews. That is what we do here on this channel after all.